All right, all right. Good afternoon, everybody. If we could get you guys to pop on your cameras, we got people jumping in. Hopefully you guys have an amazing week. We had an absolutely amazing weekend, a lot of wins. And I talked to a lot of you guys during the week too. Everybody's killing it. So, oh, my camera's not on. What the hell's going on here? Hold on a second. That's how rude.
Nice room, Brian.
Yeah. Did you see some of the pictures of where we're hanging out in, there we go. Our new place in Miami is just like, it's in the clouds, 41st story. And it overlooks the city and then the bay and then the city again, because it's on a corner. It's actually just my win. It's in my vision book like 10 years ago, a place like that, right? And it's just amazing how if we put this stuff into place, thoughts become things, and next thing you know, you're physically experiencing what used to just be thoughts. So why don't we start with some more wins, and then we'll jump into the mastermind principles, and we get a busy packed mastermind today. Who else has some wins? Antonio?
What's going on, guys? So I had a win. I was over in Jacksonville a few days ago. I had an absolute blast learning from Eddie Wilson, so that was a big win. And I actually just really fell in love with the city. I want to give like a big shout out to, well, she's not on here anyway, but like it's my wife's birthday today, and I was doing some reflection and just like, man, like I'm not tired of this person. I really enjoy being in the business now. Like, wow, anybody else who would have been like, I'm bored, but it's just super cool. And she's been very, very pregnant, and I feel, oh my God, dude. And but it's been a blast, and I'm just on cloud 9 right now with the family, with everything, and our little one, and I'm just really happy about life. So that's where I'm at.
Love it, man. I can definitely feel it and hear it in your energy. So love it. Who else has some wins they want to share? Greg?
All right, just an update from last week. I said my mom had gone to the hospital. Everything's good with her. So thank you guys for the energy that you gave last week. That was very, very special. And thank you, Brian, for that, just kind of that moment of silence. But building up for Dave Steck's event, obviously Thursday, but Dave Van Hoos's event, speaking event, I know some of us in the room are going. And so just the energy of that, just really looking forward to Dave's training, and just love for us this coming weekend, guys, in Clearwater. So excited about that.
Love it. Anybody else? Wins. Again, this is Val.
Going to the brothers, Angelo and his other two brothers. What's your third brother's name? Lucio, Angelo,
Valentino.
It's gonna be easy for me to remember, but going to their restaurant was absolutely amazing, and we are going to organize it again so we can go back down there. It was so much fun. The food was impeccable. The service was great. I don't have enough good things to say about it. It was definitely a huge win for the week, and spending time with some of our family members.
I was so jealous. That looks so good.
I know. I was
like, dang, dude, that's what's up.
Angelo was back there making up some dough. We saw all the inside stuff.
Angelo,
thank you, Valerie. Thank you.
How was that from your side of the equation? Obviously, it was everybody that went had a blast, but how was that from your side of the deal?
It was nice. It was nice to, put some, faces, like real faces to the names on here. So, I mean, it was really nice to get to meet everybody. Everybody's energy was just, impeccable. I'm still working on that side of it for myself, but it was good. Everyone was in really good spirits. It was a nice night.
I love it. Yeah, and I think you got Val, correct me if I'm wrong, you got a sampling of everything. I don't know if there's a mindset master there, but TIR, Inner Circle, Elite 100, and some of our team. So it was like, it wasn't just the Elite 100. It was, it's quite
Elite, Inner Circle, and some of our team. Yep.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Great.
I love it. With more notice, we could have a much bigger event too. So I think that's so cool. That's one of the things we do here. We support each other. I remember when Doug came in, like one of the first things we did is through the matrix, we sent every single one of you guys a box of cookies, right? So, we love on each other. We support each other in any way we can. So that's part of the deal, right? Part of the family. Anybody else for the win before we get going? All right. Who would love to read the mastermind principles? Maybe somebody who hasn't done it or haven't done it in a while. And again, to me, this is It's a privilege.
If you can put them up, I'll read them.
Yeah. Yeah, I can always pop them up. There we go.
Why am I? Antonio, you're beautiful, but I'm pinned to you somehow.
Hey man, that's what it is. You know?
How did it? Like, all I'm seeing is Antonio.
That's all you need to see, baby. Just go.
Anybody else want to jump in?
Yeah, sure, Brian. Happy to.
Cool. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's usually something at the top, but I'll just start with I release. I release myself to the mastermind because I am strong when I have others to help me. I believe the combined intelligence of the mastermind creates a wisdom far beyond my own. I understand that I will more easily create positive results in my life when I am open to looking at myself, my problems, and opportunities from another's point of view. I decide to release my desire totally in trust to the mastermind, and I'm open to accepting new possibilities. I forgive myself for mistakes that I have made. I also forgive others who have hurt me in the past so that I can move into the future with a clean slate. I ask the mastermind to hear what I really want, my goals, my dreams, and my desires, and I hear my mastermind partner supporting me in my fulfillment. I accept. I know, relax, and accept, believing that the working power of the mastermind will respond to my every need. I'm grateful knowing this is so. Dedication and covenant. I now have a covenant in which it is agreed that the mastermind shall supply me with an abundance of all things necessary to live a success-filled and happy life. I dedicate to be of maximum service to the world and to my fellow human beings, to live in a manner that will set the highest example for others to follow, and to remain an open channel of God's will. I go forth with a spirit of enthusiasm, excitement, and expectancy.
Awesome. Thanks for that, brother. For some of the new people here, I want to go through some of the things we do and why we do them too. When you log in and you guys hear that meditation music playing, it's not just elevator music for 4 minutes to see if people are showing up early or late. It's actually meant, like, I use that time to like get grounded and just shut everything else out so I can do what was just said, right? To be a mastermind partner and give you the best energy I can. So it's really the same thing for you. It's like, turn the phones over, turn off all distractions, close the door, get in a good space. Because in a real mastermind, and this is what I have never seen in any other mastermind, in a true mastermind, we come to serve, we come to give, and we end up getting, but we come to serve. So the music's very intentional. The wins are intentional as well, right? It's not just a romper room, let's share some wins. It's having you guys focus on what's good. And if you can get into a constant state of gratitude, you'll be in a high vibration, which is one of the pieces of the equation of turning energy into form, right? Get a crystal clear image of what you want, be mostly in a high vibration to attract things on that frequency, and then take daily physical measurable action. And then the fourth thing is to let go and let God. So when we go through wins, it's really just you focusing on what's good, right? And then when we read the mastermind principles, I know some of you guys actually have that appended into your life script. And Lenny's not on right now, but Lenny like reads that every single day. If you really dissect and read oh, there you are. What's up, brother?
Sitting right beside me.
You're getting a twofer here.
You handsome bastard.
Thank you.
So those of you that know Lenny, you know that he like has these right on his desk, and he reads them every day, and he like dies word by word. So I would challenge you to do that sometime, is to really read those and understand what we're really doing here in the Elite 100. It's an actual family, it's an actual group. And I couldn't be more privileged and honored to be in here myself. You guys are all my peers. So I just wanted to go over that a little bit. Blake, you want to bring us up to speed really quick, 5-10 minutes on what's going on Thursday? And then the links are in the groups there.
I don't know if I have 5 to 10 minutes worth, but
a couple minutes, whatever.
Yeah, maybe 90 seconds worth.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that probably could have come in the initial wins section. I think it was a really big win. I don't want to presume too much, but I think it'll be a big win for the whole group to get a sense for what our family does as it relates to housing market, economic research, trying to really get a picture for where things are headed based on the data that we look at historically, and then just trying to project out into the future where things are likely to go, what asset classes, what opportunities we think we're likely to see. And it's the most complex macroeconomic backdrop that I think the world has really ever seen. So trying to make predictions has become especially difficult. There have been times when it's real cut and dry, and now is not the case. I mean, we've seen markets like California, the bellwether state, has dropped the home prices there have dropped 17% in the last 8 months. Outlets like the California Association of Realtors think maybe they're already at the bottom. But if you look at you do a scatter plot of where prices have fallen over different cycles across the last 40 years, there's reason to think that if you kind of take that scatter plot and you draw a line of best fit through it, there's reason to think that the prices will revert to kind of a trend line that's quite a bit lower than we currently are now. So that's the kind of thing that Dave will go over the course of about an hour, covering the economy. And we had to strip out a lot of what we actually delivered to insiders, which was, I don't know, a 300 slide presentation a couple of weekends ago. We had to condense it down to about an hour, but I think you guys will still really find it valuable. We touch in the economic section on the earnings compression, the corporate earnings compression that we're already seeing in companies in various indices, focusing in on the S&P 500. When you of the kind of the core recession indicators that you look for, Blackstone actually puts out a checklist. 4 of the 6 are already in place, and the 2 that are not are sort of the last 2 categories that inflect before, based on a Fed tightening cycle and before you actually hit a recession. That's corporate profits and employment. Corporate profits are already compressing to the point that they were negative in what was just reported is on Q4. Those profits are showing themselves to be negative, and as you can imagine, when corporations see negative profits, they tend to start cutting expenses. Where do they cut expenses? Generally with their staff. So we're starting to see all of the indicators inflect, and that will have a bearing on the housing market, where we really try to time the bottom the best we can. And look at me, I said I had 90 seconds worth, and I just rambled on for like 5+ minutes.
Well, you're passionate, you're educated, it comes out. You're an open channel of God's will right now.
Yeah, it's flowing out of me, that's for damn sure. I don't know how much sense it's making, but hopefully that was somewhat valuable. We'd love to see you guys on. I know some of you guys are in real estate, some not, but I think you're going to find value, because at some point after this run up, we're obviously on the early part of a downslope leading to kind of a broader correction. And there's going to be opportunities for all of us to get more into real estate if you already are, or into real estate for the first time if you haven't been throughout this last 10-year run up. This is the kind of stuff that my family and I live for, is the correction after the peak. That's where the money gets made. That's where you can buy stuff at a discount, expect a lot of market appreciation, lever it up beyond that, and that's where you can really accumulate assets that will throw off cash and then go up hugely in value and make massive differences in your net worth over the course of the next cycle. So I'm pumped that it's sort of upon us, while not wishing anybody any ill will. Love for you guys to kind of tap into what we do as a family.
No, I love that. And Blake, one of the things I want to talk with your dad about, the Elite 100, we've been looking to create like an Elite 100 real estate fund. We've done this, we've done quite a bit of other investments together. And I definitely want to chat with you guys offline on what something like that might look like, because it would be nothing for everybody here to, throw 100K in, generate quite a bit of a, nice chunk, and then get into whatever that first investment is. So I'll chat with you guys on that. And when you said that some of you in real estate, I think everybody here is either in it or wants to be in it. I haven't heard any one person not at least want to be in it. So if that's the case, guys, I put the link in the chat. Dave put this together specifically for us. It's just Matrix. It's not Access Insiders. It's not open to the public. It's literally just you guys. And I asked them to do it because I have interest in this, and I want to cheat off of them. So the link's in the chat. Are you guys going to get out the recordings for people to register?
Yeah, that's obviously no problem. I mean,
it's just in case, because somebody might not be able to make the time slot, but they might want to be in. So the link's in there, guys. Lesson 2 is the knowing doing gap. If you're interested, register. And I think it's gonna be really, really good. So I'm super excited. It's a 2-part series too, by the way. You guys don't know what the other part is, but it's coming.
Well,
so that's
put me on the
that.
spot, Brian, and you'll, yeah, I'm glad the enthusiasm came through. You'll see a lot of that when we talk on Thursday. So thanks in
Love it.
advance, guys, for being there. And Brian, for you and the team for putting it together on short notice. You guys were just Johnny's on the spot, and we really appreciate you guys.
No, absolutely. Same. And so next week, are you ready for your hot seat?
Do you have anybody else? Because it still might be a little premature, man.
That's okay.
Let's talk
I just
offline
need-
about that.
I just need to plan content. So we have
Understood.
the people we have. I know Lucio, Dalton, I think Michael Shine, Eric Gulixson, Tim, our new member, you, your dad, Matt Swerk. So if any of you want a hot seat, let me know. If not, we go into content. We have a revolving cycle of stuff. So awesome, love it. One last housekeeping thing before we get going is we are presenting a masterclass this week. It's something we've never done before at this level. The amount of value we're giving and who it's for. So you guys are already obviously all things matrix. You have access to everything. But if you have family members or spouses, some of you have actually come to me personally and said, geez, I wish my spouse just understood what it is we're doing here. This is for them. Or if you have, teenage kids, young kids, whatever it is, or just people you want to help. My team will post a link in the chat here. And if you guys want to attend, it's free. You just have to go through the checkout. You will have to put your credit card in, but then you enter the code and it's free. It's just, that's how that stuff works. That way we know you're registered and things like that. My team will put that in, but I've never done a class on like spirituality and consciousness before, ever. It's always been more like TIR based or revenue streams and things of that nature. So day 1 is on that. And then day 2 is going to be on wealth mindset, which is really what we study here. And then day 3 is going to be on revenue streams, illustrating every single revenue stream I have, how I got there, what the process was. And then things like infinite banking, which you guys all know here, tax strategies, which you know. So it's going to be wildly impactful for whoever registered. And Keaton just put the link in the chat. So a little bit of housekeeping for us. All right. Well, today is, anybody have questions on any of that? Either one of those 2 things?
Set up there. Set chat up.
All good in the hood? All right. Today we're going to get back into accountability, and this is where we just kind of check in. I call it laser coaching. It's not a full-blown hot seat. It's just either an update or a reminder, or a little bit of like, hey, you're tracking towards your goals. And we went mostly through everybody. We get a few people left, so I think we'll finish this off today. And Corbin, I wanted you on today to chat about what we're doing, what you're doing, but what we're going to be doing and where that is. And if there's any short-term things we can do to help you out. So if you just want to kind of refresh everybody on, what your current goal is, and maybe we can free up some ideas here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the C type goal would be to control $1 billion in capital for the foundation. The principle of the foundation is to provide, and we're going to drill down on this a little bit more, but we're going to be doing a Zoom kind of mastermind for really creating the curriculum for kids that are aging out of the foster system. So, a little background for anybody that didn't, that wasn't at the last event. Several years ago, I became aware that 23,000 kids a year age out of the foster system. They turn 18 and they're given $150 in a suitcase. And most of the time that suitcase is a trash bag. And they're out the door. And so there's a lot of resources for the foster system on the government level, but as soon as they turn 18, it's like it's like they're just forgotten. And so a lot of these kids are coming from very traumatic situations. A lot of them are troubled. And so, I'm wanting to give them access to not just capital, but access to resources that can help them on the mindset level get to the point where they can really function in society and thrive. And so March 22nd, we're going to be doing a Zoom mastermind meeting, just kind of creating what I'm going to call our minimum viable product. You know, when you're launching a software company, you know, you code until you have something that's minimally viable, and then you launch it, right? And I'm kind of taking that same approach with this, because there's all sorts of areas that we can go into, and we can get down and into the weeds with creating this great, magnificent foundation. But if we're doing that at the expense of actually getting kids into the program, then, you know, we're not really serving the purpose. So I want to create the curriculum or the pathway for, you know, what is the least amount that we can do to get kids into a program first, and then, you know, constantly iterate from that point. And so that's going to be March 22nd from 10 to 2 Eastern time. So if anybody, you know, wants to get on that, they're welcome. You know, it's going to be me and Brian and a couple other people. And we're really just going to drill down on figuring out, you know, what are the key items that we want to take to these kids to then enroll them into our first pilot program. And then, you know, and then we can launch from there, raise capital from there to support the programs, and, you know, start getting kids into that program. Long term, I have a vision of also having families that are willing to take these kids on and, you know, invite them over for their birthdays and Christmases and Thanksgiving, not legally adopt them, but bring them into their family and, you know, help support them through this 3 to 4 year transition into adulthood. So we'll be talking about, you know, from a technology perspective, you know, in my mind, I see it as almost like a dating site, right? Where, you know, the kids can go through and we can start to build this database of families that are willing and have raised their hands and said, hey, we would love to support one of these kids. And then we give that database to the families or to the kids and let them try to identify, you know, a family that they feel like they may be a good fit for. And that family may be local, family may be, you know, not local. Kid in Texas may, you know, resonate with a family in Chicago, who knows? And so that's kind of where we're going.
I love it. Yeah, Maddie, myself, Corbin, I think Carl Gould, some business people are going to sit in on that next Wednesday. It's going to be like a 4-hour mastermind on this thing. And, you know, Corbin's idea is like a 4-year program, right? It's not going to work if it's a month or like a Band-Aid or here's some money. It's literally like, okay, you know, what's the housing? What's the education? What are they learning? Connecting them with family, like looking at the wheel of life and helping them to plug in to as many of those pieces as possible. So I'm super excited for it, because I've literally been looking for something to get behind since we started the Matrix in a big way. And this is what I'm choosing. So we'll get you guys the link if anybody wants to show. But one thing I want to crack the code on, guys, and we don't have to do it here because this is not a full-blown hot seat. You know, I wish when I started my software company, I wish I would have been able to construct a vehicle where investors could invest. I could then take the money and grow the money and then build the company off the monthly interest, right? Knowing what we know about some of the investments. It's not legal to do that, but I've always wanted to crack the code on building a structure or an instrument legally where something like this, let's say we pitch this and we get a bunch of investors, right? And instead of just a write-off and it's gone, what if it's like, hey, invest in this, we're going to take, you know, part of it and do this, you know, you're going to get a 20% a year return on your money and do this, right? And we're not going to solve this here, but if anybody thinks you have a piece of that puzzle, And Corbin, this is one thing I want to really figure out because
Yeah, I'm right there with you,
Yeah.
and there are some things that we can do, within the foundation. You can't do speculative things, but if we combine it with real estate or something like that, then there's some things that we can do once they get the donation. But to your point, if we created, actually, I think we could create a fund where we give a set return and everything over that return is then donated. That's something that we could do.
That's probably, it's more like, it's almost like a note where it's like, hey, you're guaranteed this, and then we get to work with the rest. That could be it too. So, and Ivan's probably somebody who this is like philanthro investing, really, right?
Yeah.
So instead of just a charity, like what if somebody could donate to this, but it was also an investment? I think we cracked the code on that, boy. We'll have something that'll just go bananas. So, Ari, question or comment?
Ryan, comment. If you remember, our first reunion, I pitched that idea to everybody for starting a charity and having them pitching in and get something back.
Yep.
But then Michael had told me a lot about legalities and things and that's what stopped me. But
There's got to be a way to do it. We have enough brain power and resources and connections here to figure that one. There's got to be a way to do it. We just need to it just doesn't exist that I know of now. So, but so yeah, Corbin, if you could put the Zoom link together, throw it in the chat for next Wednesday. I think that'd be cool.
Yes, I will. Actually, can we email it out? Because Carl's putting it together.
Yeah.
And then he's going to transcribe the whole meeting.
Yeah, get it to me and we'll email it out. Cool. Awesome. Ara, my main man, what is your current goal and what have you done lately towards it? What's going on with the St. Kitts project?
Well, okay. St. Kitts went into trading yesterday. So within 10 days, with all the forces in the civil room and everywhere, God willing, we're gonna get what we wanted. But still waiting for the 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll know in 2 weeks exactly where we.
You want to share a little bit, because some of these guys don't know what it is. That way we can, if nothing else, we can help put energy towards that happening for you.
Thank you. So a few years ago, I got involved in a project that's about $650 million. Two large development projects on St. Kitts. One of them is a prelude for the second one. The prelude is a smaller project. We're using it as a housing, which will be sold afterwards for condos. For the larger project. The larger project will be the largest project at St. Kitts. Hotel, casino, condos, marina, whatever you can imagine, all in one. Not that there aren't any there right now, but most of them are a lot more expensive and a lot more expensive and they're gone. Most of them are sold. St. Kitts has a couple of great things. If you invest in a condo or any real estate for $450,000 and above, on this project you'd be eligible for a citizenship there too, a second citizenship. Also, there's an international airport there, so there's a lot of private jets that land there, and it's a great island. It's a great place to go and hide. Which is my last get-togethers presentation. But anyway, so the funds will be, we are getting, sorry, I'll change my language. I'm glad Phil's not here. We are getting our, actually will be a grant for humanitarian reasons, because we're building something for the island, including schools and things in there. So when it comes through, my partners and my net worth will increase by $650 million at least. So that's what we're waiting for, and it will come true shortly.
I love it. Is there anything that you think that we can do to help other than putting good energy towards that happening? Any connections? Any?
Good energy is one, and if it fails, which I don't think it will, then I will reach out to others. Like Corbin had said that he's got contacts with people who can raise 650 overnight or whatever, or quickly, and that's how I want to go about dealing with or building it. But initially, I wanted to take this route, and I appreciate any good thoughts or any help that you guys can get mentally so that we can make this happen.
I love it. Well, one thing that does come from everything I just said about, raising money, investing it, and then using the profits to build something. That's not legal in the United States, but it is legal outside of the United States.
Thank you, Brian.
Well, that country's not here, and you can set up a whole bunch of things. So we are in Axiom. We are currently in process of setting up a hedge fund, a legal United States hedge fund that goes to a Delaware corporation over to the Caymans legally and back through FX Winning. This is for like large institutional money, 20, 50, 100 million and up. It's not for friends and family. We have other paths for you guys, but I'm just thinking, like, I literally know the owner and the COO of that, of CFT. If you're over there doing a project, there might be a way to have people invest, overseas, have some or all of it go into like FX Winning, which is a steady Eddie, right? And then, so that I do have the channels and connections for that.
Excellent. And if whoever was at our last Miami get together, I alluded at this, and then I didn't go into too much depth, but I alluded at this, that portion of our investments should be overseas. Not everything should be here. Hence last Friday, hence last Thursday. Things are happening, and they will be happening. I'm not a doom and gloom guy, but by any means, I'm probably one of the most optimistic people you ever meet. I see white and black, but I want to make sure that I'm safe, my friends are safe, my family is safe, and we have somewhere besides here to hang our hats if we need to.
No, global investing is, I think, something that everybody here should be aware of and move towards, because if everything you have is invested in the United States, that's not anywhere near as diverse as you might think. Like a banking collapse will cripple the real estate, banking, and everything else, stock market, all those things, right? Like a dozen revenue classes will go down the toilet. So I'm a huge fan of that too. And, when you study people like Ray Dalio, they didn't just invest in the United States. They invested, they were looking for countries that collapsed and they were rebounding, and he would, right? So some of those principles, so I absolutely couldn't agree more. As we grow together as a family, we should be looking, my interest would be in, like, I always talk about building a bulletproof economy, right? Multiple revenue streams, but also I think multiple countries is a way to go. And we're international here as well. So,
I mean, I'm sure Blake and his father know about this a lot more than I do, but I've been researching it for years and trying to figure out safe havens or where else can I myself and Eric and I've talked about this many times, of where to go from here, because this is not the end all picture, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, Ivan's a good resource for that. Obviously, he has interests in multiple countries. He travels the world. He's probably one of the most diversified people here. So success leaves clues that way as well.
Maybe we should have a one-on-one or 3-on-1, whatever conference with us or Blake was doing, or whoever was doing it. But I brought this up last year, many times. We need to start thinking about this now, not when
the shit hits the fan.
Yeah. Banks that would have failed on Monday fail. We need to start thinking about it today, not tomorrow.
Agreed. So in the meantime, we will send love and energy towards your 650 million coming in. Visualize that happening, and keep us updated too in the chats.
Thank you. I shall.
Mr. Blake, what is your current goal, and how can we help?
Oh man, Brian, you really put me on the spot today. I have not spent enough time in, is this part of thinking into results?
Yes,
Yeah,
lesson
okay.
one is on, yeah, it's kind of boiling down and it's, we can help, we've all gone through this. So if you don't have one, that's perfect, that's fine. We can help you work towards that because it can be a daunting task and a confusing task. Trying to figure
Okay.
out like, what do I want to go for, right? So if you look at the wheel of life, right, you know, that there's business, there's finance, there's health, there's love, there's relationships, philanthropy. You know, my suggestion would be to look at, you know, what area in that whole wheel do you have the biggest challenge or would you like to improve the most?
Well, I mean, every single category could stand to be shored up, no question. I think everybody on the call would probably say the same for themselves. The thing that occupies most of my focus these days is taking our membership community, I guess more our education company, from where it currently is to be something that we're really proud to own and run.
Mhm.
I think we created it just knowing that there was a demand for it amongst people who were kind of already following my family and my father specifically. There was a little bit of a clamor for, well, teach me private lending. And then there was, after that, a little bit of, well, how can we get more exposure to what you guys are doing and sort of cheat off of us, to use the terms that my dad likes and that you used earlier in the call. So we did that just in sort of a slapdash way and really just created jobs for ourselves. We're on this this content creation hamster wheel. And I know you feel some of that as well, but you've got a membership here that really wants to contribute and where they can kind of be the stars on any given webinar. We didn't really set it up to be that. It was just this unilateral flow of information where the Steck family was the fountain of wisdom. And you all just need to come sit in front of it and soak it up for 2 days at a time. So there's a lot of areas where I want to take this from being jobs that are full-time for Dave and I, especially, to being a company that's got, you know, team members to support it, systems that have been built, is really focused in on customer success. Is something I mentioned on a previous call with you guys. So that, do I have a number-based goal around that? Not really, but I've got kind of a lot of initiatives that I'm trying to prioritize and go after.
I think I can help with that as far as the goal setting part and also the business structure. You and I and your dad are going to sit down and go over some of this stuff anyway. I can show you, you know, behind the curtain of exactly what we've created, you know, right from, you know, marketing, outreach, like acquiring somebody, onboarding, what they're doing, maybe even adding pieces to it to build more value. We can go through that over time. Yeah. But your gold card might be something like this. I'm so happy and grateful now that we've attracted in excess of 1,000 Access Insider members by the end of 2024, whatever date serves you, in a calm, confident, heavenly manner. So there's a lot going on in there, right? You don't want full-time jobs. You don't want 10 times the work. But when we say in a calm, confident, heavenly manner, we're stating to the universe that we want it to be just that, not chaotic, not crazy. So you might say something like that. Well, if we had 1,000 members, but we had a team of maybe 10 or 20 people and they were doing everything and we just had to show up and do X. That is what you can have, but it has to start in thought energy, right? You have to literally picture that without knowing how. The how doesn't matter. We can all help you with the how, right?
Yeah.
So that's the exercise of setting like a C-type goal would be something like that. Like, I'm so happy and grateful, and it would be, you know, right on a goal card.
Okay, I think I got one of those in my welcome package. So how are you guys saying it? Seed as in like the
C is in like ABC.
Oh,
like,
okay.
An A-type goal is like, we're at 100 members. We want to grow by 20 members by the end of the year. That's not a goal. You're going to do that anyway.
Yeah,
there's no growth, there's no learning, there's no collaboration, there's no networking, right? That's what everybody's doing. Corporations do this all the time. General Electric, right? We did, 2.5 billion in this division. Next year, we want to do 2.6. So that's like an A-type goal, doing what you already know how to do. A B-type goal is more like, it's a situational goal. Like when COVID's gone, then we'll do this. When the market collapses, then we'll do this. When my kids graduate, then I'll start this job or go to the gym. It's like, it's kind of conditional.
Yeah.
Which we don't do that either because, Elon Musk doesn't do that stuff, right? A C-type goal, and there's no relevance to C. It's just Bob said ABC. It could be 1, 2, 3. Is a goal that you probably don't have any idea how it's going to happen. It's just what you want. And we just go to the consciousness state of, like Elon Musk, his is populating Mars. That's his C-type goal. He knows it can be done, but he doesn't know all the how. He's filling in pieces though, isn't he? Right. So,
Yeah, hell yeah, he is. It's a hell of a goal.
PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX, all his companies, by the way, those are not his goals. Those are things he's doing to generate trillions of dollars so he can actually accomplish his goal. So that's like a bigger example of a C-type goal, relatively speaking. It's not a big goal. It's just relatively speaking, it is.
Got it.
So, and you're going to play with this stuff. The longer you guys are in the elite, this is just something for now, over the next 12 months, maybe. It's not like, why am I on this planet type of a goal, right? And really like assessing that. It's something that I always recommend to somebody, just pick something. And that's a pretty good one, right? If you had 1,000 members and a big enough team and you and Dave are really just showing up to do your part of the deal, somebody else is doing fulfillment, onboarding, setting up the speaking, setting up this, setting up that, right? You have a team and then somebody's running the whole team, not you guys, right? You have a COO, you have the whole thing. I can show you the structure we created here in the matrix, but that's a perfect example of what it's like a C-type goal would be.
Cool, man. Well, yeah, you gave me a great one to start with. I don't know that I wouldn't change too much about that because 1,000 members sounds phenomenal, and we'd be impacting tons and tons of lives in the spider web of people that they be, you guys that know all this stuff, but the spider web and interconnectivity of people that they would be impacting to create generational wealth and make sure that everything they've worked for will stay within the family, but be in a position to do right by their communities and go even broader than that. I can't think of a better one. So thanks, man. I really appreciate you guys having the patience to take me through this when I should have already done this on my own.
No, there's no reason. This happens all the time. Even though people go through thinking results, sometimes people, they think, number one, they think they only have one shot at it, so they don't want to waste it, which is not true at all. I've changed my goals multiple times, bigger. I've become more aware, and I've knocked off a bunch of them, right? So this is just the first time. You're just playing with energy. And Bob used to say to this to people, say, if you don't know, he said, if you tell me what you want, I can show you how to get it. And then Bob added to this. That was an Earl Nightingale. He added to it. And he says, if you don't know what you want, I can help you with that too. That's part of what we just did. Because a lot of people, it's a big thing to get their hands around. So this is exactly what we do here. So that's a good one. That's what Bob said. If you don't know, he said, take your yearly income and make it your monthly. So in your case, take your existing 100 and 10x it. It's like the same type of goal, 100 to 1,000. I did a million to 12 million, right? Now it's like multiple billion goal. So that's some of how Bob used to help people. Let's just play around with this for a year.
And so admittedly,
go
ahead. Real quickly, by your own admission, it's kind of a nebulous goal. There's some specificity to it, but there's no real how whatsoever. And I agree that it makes sense to keep it on the vague side because there's more inspiration to it. You're not bogged down in the mechanics necessarily, but how do you guys take it to a more practical level? Is that part of the B or the A?
Well, part of it, so the first step is to go there and work backwards, which almost nobody does. Once you need to let your subconscious mind know the bigger picture so it knows where you're going. Now, if you're in Boston and you plug in, I'm going to LA in the GPS, right? That's the bigger thing. You don't know every street, every turn, everything, bridges, roads, you don't know what's going to happen on the way, but you know it's possible. This is the same thing. Now, once you have the goal and you get emotionally involved, matter of fact, what you were talking about, like those people, the 1,000 families, the impact, the trickle effect, that's all the stuff to get into the feeling. Right? It's the
big time.
It's not the money. You guys have a million ways to make money. It's impacting 1,000 families in such a way that they can actually impact other people. Like that's like legacy that feels a certain way. those would be all the things you describe in your life script, right? One step is a goal card. Another step is like the meditation or the prayer part of it, tapping into the infinite, getting into the spirit or the feeling of the wish fulfilled is what Neville Goddard says, right? Or the vibration of the goal achieved. So when you started to talk about the impact, that's what you journal into a life script, and you'll hear it. We can chat about that on the side too. But if
That's definitely got the most energy behind it, is that impact,
right?
Yeah. Yep.
And consciousness is what turns energy into form. So if you're waking up every morning and you're reading your goal, you get emotionally involved, you're going to take some actions towards it, right? You might do a hot seat. Well, you're going to soon, and you're going to get a million ideas quick. You go to mastermind groups. You take daily action. So you don't have to worry about the how, because you're in the groups to give you all the pieces, right? And you're really building your desire. And it's also reminding you every day to do something towards your goal. It's not magic. It's just, if you read that every morning as part of your daily routine, you're going to do something. You're going to call somebody, you're going to do something. And if you do that for the next 12 months, you'll just see the thing, you'll start attracting people, places, things. That's why you don't have to worry about the how.
Yeah, that's super cool. And I can see why everybody here on these calls and in the Elite 100 is just so in love with this idea and with this group. Is intellectually, I've known for 2 decades how important it is to have a why and to check in with it, but it's just so easy to get bogged down in the day-to-day mechanics of let's make progress on this one thing that we know is going to have a cumulative effect. But I've just never been great about checking in with that. What does the cumulative effect look like? And being clear on that every day. And it just inspires the more directed action, whether or not you know that every piece is directly tied to that cumulative final sort of dream outcome. I can see how much of a difference it would make to make sure that that's a focal point, something you check in with every day, and something in your brain is going to make sure you're steered toward mechanical how-to type of things that actually lead you there.
Yeah. And then every so often we do this too. We check in with what have you done lately towards your goal? We'll remind you, because now I have it written down. So this is the accountability piece of your peers, right? And if you get stuck, it's like, hey guys, I need a hot seat. I'm stuck. So that's kind of how the process of what we do here works, is just helping each other move towards those goals. So.
Well, then, I think I'll definitely need to, and I know I've been telling you, thinking of the results is going to be elevated on the priority list, and it just hasn't made it there, but it absolutely will be. And is there kind of an amount of progress I should make in there before scheduling a hot seat, if that's kind of the
let's do this.
cadence?
Let's you and I connect later in the week for like a 20-minute catch up.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll get right into it. So
cool. Well, thanks for the dedicated walkthrough again. Appreciate your patience, everybody. This has been great.
Awesome. No worries. Mr. Angelo, do you and the Luch have a C-type goal? I think you might, and I don't think these guys know about it.
Yeah. So I mean, we are, that's like one of the questions I have. So like personally, and then business wise too. Business wise, we are, we're looking to sell one of our companies for 200 million. That's what our C-type goal is within 24 months. So that's what I keep repeating to myself right now.
Yeah.
So that's like the big one that's on our, and I'm trying to, we have so many different things going on that my goal, thing that I say, it's like too many things in there at once, So I don't know if I should just have, I'm so happy and grateful now that I've sold this company for 200 million and that's it. And then just create another one for a different goal, or it's like everything at once,
So knowing you and I and your brother sat, we're going to sit again, I think later on the week, today or sometime. We have another meeting. I know that. We kind of went through this, right, with the restaurants and where it is, and about, that $200 million exit. I think, that's like a 24-month, right? My suggestion would be to have that as the one that you focus on. Everything else is going to keep running anyway, but you don't have a goal to open up 20 restaurants. That's not knowing what you know now. Right?
No.
So financially, I would stick with that one. I'm so happy and grateful now that we've exited XYZ company for in excess of 200 million. by such and such a date in a calm, confident, and heavenly manner. The other one for you, I think, is health, right? And Val, did you get those guys the metal cards? Is that what I saw at the thing? Were they the health ones? So you already have one, Angela. Did he get one?
Yes, I gave it to Lucio to give to you.
Grab that.
Which means I didn't get it. It went to the black hole.
Guys,
He has
Black
two.
hole.
we're making metal matrix gold cards, and we're giving you all one that I think is very important, which is, I'm so happy and grateful that I live in a perfectly healthy body as intended by God and nature.
You can see it.
Like, if your health is in the toilet, and anybody, nothing else matters. It does. I've seen people, it just nothing else matters. So, and I think it was Val, our team came up with this, but it might have been her specifically, said, let's get a metal one that we give to people. So we're going to give you guys that one so you can carry it around. It's metal. It's super cool. And if you want us to make a metal gold card for you with your goal, obviously there'll be a fee, whatever the things cost. We're going to do that for you guys as a service. So ideally, you'd probably have 2 gold cards. We give you these ones for free, and these are cool too. These are laminated, and they're pretty tough. They don't stand up to a washing machine too well. I found that out, but so you should have that one. Go grab your brother by the throat and get that. He has that for you. And those are the only 2 I would focus on if I was you.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Exactly.
It'll keep it simple, right? Now you guys do a lot of other things, but they're not really C-type goals. That's a C-type goal. And I know you can get emotionally involved in what that means. Like, holy shit, right?
Yeah. You know what I did is I recorded myself saying it, and then I sent it to our media guy or video guy, and he put it on a loop for like 4 hours with like meditation music behind it. So last night I slept with it with my AirPods on.
That's it, bro. That's it. You're brainwashing yourself in a healthy manner. Everybody's brainwashed anyway. From the minute we're born, we're brainwashed by ignorant people over time. So doing something like that, you're choosing the brainwashing for yourself, right? It's just repetitive information. So I love it. No, that's perfect. I love it. So the thing I love about these accountability check-ins, guys, is everybody, I think, gets something. You know, what we did with Blake, a lot of you probably resonated with that or learned something or understood something about setting a C-type goal. So if I didn't call on you today, we will again. I keep track of who we have and who's up next and that type of thing. So we'll keep track of you guys. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns before we wrap up? All good? All right. Well, like I said, we would sincerely appreciate if you guys could help share the word on our masterclass this week. It's the same thing like Blake said, you know, I don't need people's $99. What I thrive on is impacting people. And it's just people don't value free. So for a couple of bucks, they can check us out. And if you have skeptical family members, it's a good thing for them to join. If any of you want to join, we put the links and there's a code for free. So feel free to do that. All right, everybody. So until next week, be well and God bless. And we'll see a lot of you Thursday. We'll see a lot of you this week. Take care.
Later.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Later.